Y the Last Man, Season 1, Episode 5, title Manhunt. Now, this episode I found to be good. Like, half the episode I really liked. I liked the world building. I liked the introduction to Professor Mann. I introduced to her. And her idea, her character, what she believes, what she doesn't believe, her sense of science and her information and what she has collected through the years and all that. I found that was quite interesting. Definitely the conversations between her and York and that. For me, that was quite well put together. I mean, her whole point of view of like, okay, York's here just because he's the last male on Earth. And of course, they're probably asking me to somehow populate the Earth. Because, if to populate the Earth, but my point of view, that's meaningless. There's ways that us women can actually keep the human race going, and we can do this and that, and of course this is the first time this show ever mentions cloning, which is you'll be like, wait, cloning, what? Yeah, it's a thing for the comics. Actually, in the comics, Professor Mann gives birth to herself, her clone self, and there's that mindset of like the clones, the reason that all the men died, which, to be fair, if they don't give you a reason why, in this show, if they don't give you a reason why all the guys die, like they'll also explain why York survived, but the reasons that the rest of us are dead, they won't. It doesn't matter. In the story, in the context of the story, it doesn't really matter. But I really enjoyed the character itself. I really enjoyed the world building in this episode. We're saying Boston and have a sense of what are the point of views of the citizens of Boston. How is Boston handling this situation? Is it bad, worse, somewhere in between? Is it civilized? What are the point of view of the citizens? What's the point of view of the government? And Jennifer being the president, they're like, what's their point of view of it? And they keep saying liar, and it's like, oh, why lying? You're like, oh, you think that it's the classic thing of the government's hiding something. You're like, yeah, you kind of, yeah. York is that thing, but I actually do. I was kind of surprised with the scene where like a woman, York bumps into a random woman, and she's just assumes that he's transgender. And in my head, I'm thinking, can York just take off the mask and people just assume he's trans? And then immediately I'm like, probably not the best. Definitely when like the Amazons, if he ever meets the Amazons. If he ever meets the Amazons, that's not it's not a good, that's probably not a good sign. It's not actually a good sign for him, but good or bad at this point out there. But the stuff I wasn't that keen of was the stuff with 355. Like, in this episode, we get into her backstory, how she became an agent, and how she became the woman that she is. And for me, I was like, I think this is one of these characters, and I also felt if we were going to do this feels a little bit too early. That it feels that this is a character that works in mystery. That sense of she is this drove individual character who is just like, I have a mission, I'm going to stay this mission, and we just find out her personality and all that kind of stuff through the episode, through the story, from her interaction with York. Finding out she was essentially a widow, that she was probably plucking from foster care or something, and then trained as an agent. I'm like, I mean, it could be the sense like a couple months ago we just had Black Widow, and that in a way is that backstory as well. So I'm like, okay, this kind of feel a little bit like I just got that, but it just felt, it kind of, I hope they don't really give you everything. It could be that mindset of like, if we wait till season 4, the audience might get annoyed that we don't know anything about the character. So we probably need to kind of give all those reveals that might happen in issue 40 of the 60 issue comic into now. Just because, you know, comic readers are a little bit like, it'll be all explained at the end, while television viewers are a little bit, no, give me the information now. You know, don't give me season 3, give me it now. You got 10 episodes, you better give me some goddamn answers on X, Y, and Z. Give me everything needs to be explained in 10 episodes kind of thing. But, which I will say, if we don't find out in the context of the show why all us dudes died to set York, what caused all the men to die, and they don't do it, I'd just say this: it doesn't matter. It's that whole thing. It's like, how did this? It doesn't matter. We'll find out possibility why York lived. He was around with feces. He was around monkey shit. That's why. Anyway. But yeah, it's just, I thought this episode was good. It was fine, good, well-being. I like the character of Professor Mann. Really, yeah, that very determined scientist type character. And all that. But it's just the mystery 355. I hope they don't reveal so much too soon.